You're right there guys, how's it going? Got you a battle against a guy called Mustachefete. I hope I'm saying that right. Mustachefete, something like that, from the Smogon Wi-Fi Battle Finder. And I'm looking at his team and I'm seeing a lot of Eviolite users there. Well, 2, plus Pikachu, but for that reason I'm thinking that Tentacle is probably going to be the star player in the game just because he has knockoff, and I've kind of got into the habit of always trying to carry something with knockoff in this tier just because there are so many Eviolite users, and to be honest, a lot of things that do rely on their items a lot more than maybe in the higher tiers. Like, you know, stuff like Choice Scarf, Golduck or Sork also is pretty reliant on the items, so yeah, gonna go ahead and lead with Tentacle here just to knock off whatever because it'll be pretty useful. I mean, I guess the least useful thing he has in terms of items is probably his leftovers on Mashana, but hey, whatever, in comes Scraggy and knock off his Eviolite right off the bat, so that's pretty good. Going to Twazo here. Now the reason I chose this bird is because, literally the only reason I chose it is just because I had inspiration for the name and I thought, that is so good, I have to use Dodrio. Go for a Brave Bird and it's going to take out the Scraggy because I am choice banded and he's lost his Eviolite. But Dodrio, not really the best of flying types to use, but put a choice band on this thing and it's pretty damn good. I feel like had it got U-turn then it would probably be one of the more overused ones within the tier. But unfortunately all it gets is kind of, you know, Brave Bird, Return, Pursuit I think. But apart from that, not really too useful, but yeah, gonna switch out into Tentacle here. He does predict my switch by going for Hidden Power. I think he thought it was electric, but turns out to be grass, so, you know, I could have stayed in after all. Either way, gonna knock off again as Pikachu comes in, get rid of his Light Ball, and that is brilliant because Pikachu without a Light Ball is not all that useful, let's be honest. Now he does go for a sub here. I think I either predicted sub or maybe Encore or... no, why would he go for Encore? Either sub or Nasty Plot. Not exactly sure. But I figure going to Lipard because it's probably the safe bet, and he does go for a Focus Punch, but because, you know, Encore kind of works on the last move they've actually completed, it turns out I Encore him with the sub, so yeah, I'm pretty safe. So I go for a sub on the switch as he brings in Torkoal. I probably should have just switched out here to be honest, because there's not really much that Lipard can do to Torkoal. I guess try and swagger and foul play, but this thing has like base 140, I want to say, defense or something, so yeah, not really going to be doing all that much to him. So I'm going to go to Costa del Solrock here just to get up my own rocks as he gets up his rocks. And I figure, yeah, get up rocks, he doesn't have a Rapid Spinner, and well he does because he has Torkoal, but the problem with having Torkoal as a Rapid Spinner is it's also weak to the rocks, so, you know, same problem as Cryogonal really. So I do get up my rocks as he goes into his Golduck. I'm going to switch out because I don't want to take a Hydro Pump or whatever he wants to do. So I go ahead and switch out into my Tentacle here just to wall whatever. He actually predicts my switch very nicely here, goes into his Pikachu, and that's definitely going to threaten me out with a Volt Tackle. So I go into my Solrock here. I was figuring he could go for sub again, but I don't want him to go for an unprotected Focus Punch because I had that happen to me before against a friend who is very good at predicting what I would do, and he destroyed me with an unprotected Focus Punch, so that was definitely not good times. So now I have a morbid fear of Lipard getting unprotected Focus Punched, so I figure going to Solrock, it's the dedicated physical wall, so I can hopefully just wall whatever he wants to do now that he's lost his Light Ball. So I kill him off with an Earthquake, that's great, Solrock gets the kill, and now he's going to bring in his Mashana. Now Mashana was probably the one thing I was really scared of the whole time, because I can't triple it with a knockoff, particularly because it probably has Moonlight anyway. But I was kind of thinking, okay, he's going to go for Hidden Power Fighting, predicting my switch into Lipard, so I'm not going to bother. Well, why would he go for a Psychic move on Solrock anyway, but yeah, going to go into my Dodrio here, just hoping I can live an attack, and I just about do, so I figure go for a Flail. I honestly don't know what's more powerful out of Flail or Brave Bird when you factor in, you know, how much health I've got left and whatever, so I thought, whatever, go for Flail, see how much it does, and that does a pretty good chunk of damage, so I'm guessing Brave Bird wouldn't have done any more. Anyways, gonna go into Seviper here. Now, here I make kind of a derpy play. I kind of thought that a Sludge Wave wouldn't kill him, so I was thinking, well, it could have done, potentially could have killed him if he's like max defense and not specially defensive, but I figure, okay, hope he's going to go for the Psychic and go into Lightwood and then just kind of encore him into it, but he actually goes for Moonlight, which makes me look pretty stupid, so in any case, I figure he's probably going to want to go for the Hidden Power Fighting. I'm just going to go for Swagger on the off chance I can maybe live an unboosted Hidden Power Fighting, because I do have max HP, and hopefully just go from there with, you know, the Swagger, Foul Play, shenanigans that good old Lightwood likes to pull off. He does break through the confusion here, gets off a Hidden Power Fighting, and that does do a pretty respectable chunk of damage, because Lightwood has no defense whatsoever. And it takes me down to around about 100 health, so not looking too great for Lightwood, but I figure I can just get off a big hit with Foul Play here. But I'm not going to do that because I am going to predict a switch and go for a sub. Didn't really matter too much because, you know, Golduck's faster than me anyway, so it doesn't really make too much difference. But what it does let me do is see what he's going to lock himself into, because he is Choice Scarfed. And I kind of think, okay, I can go for Swagger on this turn and hopefully just bank on the fact that I might get him to hurt himself in confusion and then just go for Foul Play. I mean, this Lightwood is a little bit of a weird set because it does rely a lot on luck some of the time. But I mean, you do have the substitute there as kind of a buffer for these kind of situations. Like, I didn't want to go straight for the Swagger or Foul Play because Golduck could just come in and I didn't want to risk it too much. But now that I do have the Swagger on him, I figure he's not going to want to risk it. Goes into his Torkoal as I switch out into my Tentacool. Now I know that Torkoal can't really kill Tentacool, barring he doesn't get the burn. But I can do a reasonable chunk of damage to him, so I'm just going to go for Toxic, just in case, you know, Tentacool dies, the worst happens and he happens to have a random Earthquake or something. I don't know. But I figure go for Toxic, just put him on a countdown so I can at least hopefully stall him out eventually. Now he goes for Yawn here, and this is pretty funny. I go for Rapid Spin to get rid of the rocks, just because why not? He goes for Lava Plume, and he actually ends up getting the burn, so I don't fall asleep. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I guess probably good. Burn is better than sleep as far as I'm concerned. But it's pretty funny because that is actually going to be doing a lot more damage to me than the Lava Plumes were, so yeah, I guess it sort of worked out in a way. But I'm going to go to Seviper here just because I figure he's probably going to want to get up his rocks again, and I can just go for that huge Sludge Wave and do a lot of damage to his team, hopefully. I don't know if it's better to have Sludge Bomb or Sludge Wave, to be honest. I think Sludge Wave has like 5 base power higher, but a 20% lower chance of getting poisoned, so I thought, well, to be honest, Sludge Wave has a better animation, so I'll just go for that. And it's a cool name, isn't it, to be honest? Sludge Wave, like a wave of sludge coming towards you. Like you're swimming down the river Ganges and this wave of sludge just comes hurtling over your head. That is not a pleasant image whatsoever. But what is a pleasant image is I'm going to taunt this Nidorino here because I've only seen a couple of these before, but every time they've been kind of Hone Claws, Sucker Punch, Poison Jab kind of thing, so I thought, yeah, go for Taunt, just so he's not so much of a threat. Because I believe that Nidorino does have the Hustle ability, so even though he's going to be hitting me like an absolute truck, I mean, that Head Smash, resisted hit on Mawile, which has pretty good physical defense, still does quite a lot, so, you know, I'm pretty glad he has the Hustle because he does end up missing here. That's brilliant, it means I can get a lot more health. I don't know if I would have actually died to another one or not, but in any case, I got a pretty good amount of health left, and I do get up a Swords Dance, which is great. Now Golduck comes in, and he is faster, but I have the Sucker Punch. I'm pretty glad that Mawile does get the Sucker Punch, otherwise it wouldn't be all that useful, to be honest. But this thing is an absolute powerhouse. If you haven't seen my sweep video I posted up recently, I'll link you in the video description, but this thing, with Sheer Force, Life Orb, and a pretty respectable move pool. Like, it's got Iron Head for stab, Ice Punch I believe it gets through the Dream World, and Sucker Punch just for priority. It's pretty damn good. I mean, I've seen a lot of defensive ones, but I reckon offense is the way to go as far as Mawile's concerned. Now, he's got his Mashana left, and I have, I believe, Lightwood and Solrock. It all comes down to whether or not Lightwood can actually kill this thing. So I go for a Foul Play. Wasn't exactly sure how much it would do, but luckily I do manage to take him out. Otherwise, he would have easily been able to stall out my Lightwood and my Solrock. So yeah, just about pulled that through thanks to Lightwood. Lightwood, you are an absolute beast. Extra promotion medals for you. So that was a really great game. Hope you all enjoyed, and if you did, don't forget to leave a like rating. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.